Greetings once again, viewers. Chuke here with Chuke's Outdoor Adventures. Just a reminder, check out my website, chukesoutdoor.com. I do have affiliate links on there, and that's how I support the channel. But I wanted to tackle an interesting subject, one I've talked about a little before. That is 9mm maybe the best protection you could use out in the woods if all you have is a pistol for brown bears? Now, there's a lot of different angles to this, and I know people are going to scoff, but it's no secret that people have done it before. The most widely known case was a couple years ago. Phil Shoemaker was the guide. He killed that brown bear with his 9mm. He had buffalo boar. Long Windy Road did a two-part video series that went in depth into it. It was very interesting. I'll throw a link up to his video. But there's a couple different versions of the story. I know American Hunter magazine did the main story, but I remember reading at one point they never found the killing bullet. They know he killed it with it, but I don't know if that's true or not, because they skinned the bear and he unloaded, you know, his whole magazine except for one shot with the buffalo boar outdoorsman, 147 grain, I believe, 9mm hard cast. So, I mean, that time it was done. Also, around the same time, 2020, 2021, there were the two bow hunters in Montana, and the guy killed a attacking grizzly that was shaking his buddy's leg like a rat, or a dog or something. They were bow hunters in Montana. The guy had a P320 with full metal jacket in it, and he killed the grizzly bear. But I want to come at this from a couple different angles. The whole reason why I bring this up is I recently took a concealed carry class with Majority Arms, and Brenda with Majority Arms, her and her husband get a chance to talk to all kinds of Alaskans, particularly on the Kenai Peninsula. They talk to a lot of hunters where they do shooting courses and hunting classes and that type of thing. Then they come up to Anchorage. They travel all over the state, meeting with people doing these firearm classes, and they get to interact with hunters and outdoorsmen. And it was really interesting because I'm a big 10mm guy. That's still the main semi-auto I carry in the woods just because of the power it has, and it's been proven 100% to kill attacking brown bears. I mean, we've got even more cases of that. But Brenda was saying that for some people the 9mm may be the best choice because you can control it better, aim it better, and in their classes, they've had some other cases where people talk about brown bears killed with 9mm that I hadn't even heard of. The most interesting one I found was the case, and there's some contention to this, and I'm confused about the density of the bear's head. We'll talk about that. But I don't remember what kind of ammo the guy had. But the guy was charged by a brown bear. All he had was a 9mm. I believe it was on the Kenai Peninsula. He fired 2 shots that impacted on the brown bear's skull on the forehead, and just like the urban myth, it did not penetrate. They just kind of mushroomed and stuck there under the fur, not going through the skull. But then he fired again, and it penetrated into the chest and hit the bear in the heart and stopped it, killed it. That can be contended because, as you know, sometimes you could blow out a whole bear's heart, and if it's angry enough, it'll still have like 40 seconds of blood pumping through its muscles where it can rip you apart in anger. So it does depend on the bear, depends on the bear's personality, how mad it is, if it's a sow with cubs, if it's a big crazy boar that just wants to kill you. A lot of factors, but that was a super interesting story, and she talked about, you know, recoil, shot placement, and I go back to the big test that me and Chuck did. This was probably 4-5 years ago. Me and Chuck did this charging brown bear attack where Chuck made this sled with the big bear target that we had got at Northern Security. And of course, when I pulled the sled, it was moving a lot faster. Chuck pulled it, he couldn't run as fast. So anyways, this bear's coming at me. I pull out my revolver, I pull out my 10mm, and every time this bear target's coming at me, you know, I'm shooting it in the paw, the shoulder. I didn't do that. I died a couple times. One time I pulled the whole holster out. One time I forgot to load the 500 Smith & Wesson, and just, you know, I died because I was just clicking. But I did the best with the Glock 19. Now this is a different Glock 19. This is safe. This is a Gen X5 MOS Glock 19. I had a Gucci Glock back then. It was like a Gen 3 Gucci Glock. I missed that gun, but anyways, I pulled that out and it was just right in the forehead, just boom, 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 boom. I unloaded and I did the best with the Glock 19. And Chuck even said, we looked at the targets. It was like, well, the 10mm, you hit it, you know, one headshot maybe, and you hit it in the paw. Every other shot you missed, but the Glock 19, every one was on center because you could control it better. He's like, you'd probably be better off with your 9mm. I mean, Chuck even said that. And so that's what Brenda was saying, is that it's been done before. And if you're just going to blindly, you know, spray and pray with your 10mm and you haven't trained with it and you're not accurate, then you might want to go with a 9mm. Personally, I'm going to go with a 10mm because I'm super accurate with that Springfield. I'm shooting it a lot better. But a lot of people, you may want to go with a 9mm. I look at Long Windy Road's competition X5 Legion with the +5, I don't know, he's got like 22 round mags on it and the craziest trigger I've ever felt, just this little air trigger. I mean, that would be a better option for some people, just because and with the right ammo, you got extreme penetrators or buffalo bore outdoorsmen. I think it's a good argument, and I'd have to agree with Brenda that for some people, believe it or not, 9mm would be the best semi-auto you could have in the woods, and it's been proven multiple times that people have killed very large grizzly bears with 9mm. Now, full-on charge, would I feel comfortable with a 9mm? Of course not. I mean, with my luck, I would, you know, hit it a couple times, it would still rip me apart. But, you know, I could aim better with it, and who knows, it could work. So let the comments begin. What do you guys think? I think it's an interesting argument, and there could be some validity to it. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and I'll have more videos upcoming. Chuke, your friend in the field.
My name is Chuke. I like to trade my guns just for fun, but now I have none. Oh, look, get shot by a bear, but I don't care. I got a 10mm. Chuke's Outdoor Adventures. Watch you go outside every time.